So for this video, we're going to go through some examples of applying the angle bisector theorem and its converse. So for number one, I want to find the length of BC. And so I have this figure right here, and I'm looking to see whether I'm going to be using that angle bisector theorem or its converse. Well, something I noticed here is that AC is bisecting this angle BAD. And I see that because of these congruent markings here. And we learned from this angle bisector theorem that when we have that angle bisector, then this point is equidistant from the sides of the angle. So that means that BC is equal to CD. Well, CD, it tells us that that length is 7.2. So that means that BC is also equal to 7.2. Okay, so number two, we want to find the measure of angle EFH, given that the measure of angle EFG is equal to 50 degrees. So EFG is equal to 50 degrees, so that's this angle right here. So first thing I notice here is that I have these other two sides right here, and I see that they're congruent. And so we learned from our converse that when we have a point inside an angle that's equidistant from the sides of the angle, then it is on the bisector of the angle. And so I know that FH actually bisects this angle EFG. And so that means that the measure of angle EFH is equal to the measure of angle EFG. Well, we know that the measure of angle EFG is 50 degrees, so that means that the measure of angle EFH is also equal to 50 degrees. Okay, so number three, we want to find the measure of angle MKL. Here, I notice again that this point M is equidistant from L as it is from J. And I see that from these congruent markings. And so since we have that by the converse of our perpendicular bisector, or our angle bisector theorem, I know that M is on the angle bisector. And so that means that this angle here is congruent to this angle here. So measure of angle JKM is equal to the measure of angle MKL. And so now I'll plug these in. So 3A plus 20 is equal to 2A plus 26. Subtract 2A. And I get that A plus 20 is equal to 26. A is equal to 6. However, we're not done. The question did ask to find the measure of angle MKL, so I need to plug 6 back in. So I have that measure of angle MKL is equal to, well, MKL is 2A plus 26, so I instead have 2 times 6 plus 26. So the measure of angle MKL is equal to 38 degrees. Okay, now for this last one, it says that given that WYZ is equal to 63 degrees, so WYZ, that's this angle right here, XW is equal to 5.7, and ZW is equal to 5.7, find the measure of angle XYZ. So I want to find this entire angle. So looking at this information I'm given, I notice that I have two sides that are congruent. And so I know from the converse that WY is the angle bisector of XYZ. And so that means that these two angles are going to be congruent. And so because this is being bisected, I know that the measure of angle XYZ is going to equal to 2 times the measure of angle WYZ. And again, that's because the WYZ is equal to XYW. Well, we know that the angle WYZ is equal to 63 degrees. So I have 2 times 63. And so we get that the measure of angle XYZ is equal to 63 times 2, which is 126.